Good afternoon, everyone. So, thanks for attending the session, and thanks to ICSI for giving me this opportunity to share my views. As all of us are aware, these are the requirements which are rolled out by IBBI pretty recently. So, every one of us are trying to meet this, and I think the session is timed at a very good timing that we have just one more week to comply with this liquidation forms, particularly the forms with respect to liquidation 1 and liquidation 2. So, and of course, the same where already, I mean, I'll anyways explain each of the form, what is the requirement. And the initial deadline for us to comply is September 30, for which we all have to gear up. So I think majorly, I'm sure many of us would have already started complying. But in my own experience, I faced several practical difficulties to comply with the form filing, for which I have written to IBBI. Few have been rectified and then they rolled out the modified forms also, and few could not be rectified, and I had to still go ahead and file with certain notes being attached to the forms. So we'll discuss all such practical issues today. And to the extent possible, I'll also try to show the IBBA screen to reflect as to what how the information is being sought in the respective screen. So I think there we'll have much better practical understanding of what is the major requirement of IBBA. So with this brief backdrop, I'll like to share my screen to show the first and foremost the basic requirement of IBBA with respect to filing of these forms, which has been rolled out in June 2024. So there are predominantly four forms which the IBBA is contemplating to have. There are two one-time forms. So this one-time forms, I mean, there was only once in a process of the CA liquidation, we filed this one-time forms, which are liquidation 1. So there are three, sorry, liquidation 3 and liquidation 4. So liquidation 1, 3, and 4, like Q1, liq 1, liq 3, liq 4. These are the three forms which will be filed only once. So these are the one-time forms. However, if you look at liquidation 2 is the form which goes regularly along with your submission of progress reports. So liquidation 2 form is a quarterly form which which you need to keep on filing till the time we close or till the time we file the dissolution application. So this is basically how the forms have been structured. So firstly, liquidation 1 form. So what is liquidation 1? Then liquidation 2, 3, and 4, we look into it. So liquidation 1 form is a timeline between, this is equivalent to our CARP 1 actually. So wherein till the public announcements, we have a requirement of filing CARP 1, that is within 7 days, we file CARP 1, right? So similarly, this commencement of liquidation till public announcement, there is a requirement of disclosing all the information. So now, what is the timeline they've given? Unlike CARP, where all the timelines are like 7 days from a particular event, in liquidation, they have given the timeline to be 10 days from the next month after which a public announcement has been made. Like, for example, if within 5 days, let's say we are doing a public announcement. Today, let's say liquidation order has come. So if suppose 28th September, we are doing a public announcement, then it is on or before the 10th day of the subsequent month. So now the 10th day of the subsequent month, in our case, would be October. So it would be 10th on or before 10th of October, we'll have to file this form liquidation 1. Now, what does this form liquidation 1 contain? It contains the basic facts. That is, who is the liquidator, what are the details, what is the CD's basic details, what is the fee approved, whether the IBB has approved any, I mean, NCLT has approved any fee or not, all of those details will come. So I'll quickly show this form. Just ignore the facts, but I want to quickly show that. Like, for example, these are the details like SIN, industry, date of incorporation, what is the registered email ID, what is the process email ID, whether it is run as a going concern, when is the date of public announcement. And if there is no delay, then no need to mention. If there is any delay, then we have to mention the reasons why there is a delay in public announcement. Then the details of liquidation. Now, these are very important. These are nothing but the mandatory content under Regulation 39A, B, C, D, and also BA. So basically what those mandatory regulations under CARP, which we will propose to the COC, irrespective of whether we're going for liquidation or CARP, those provisions will come. That is, what is the fee? So whether the liquidator fee is decided as a percentage or is it decided as a specific fixed fee during this 3 periods, that is during the period of compromise, during the period of going for a going concern sale, and for sale under any other mode. So that way we will have to prescribe. So in my case, it is as a percentage of as a table as per the table under regulation 42B. So I had to opt that. Then whether SCC has fixed the fee. So in my case, COC has decided the fee under CARP itself of the liquidator. So there may be a situation where SCC would have decided because COC did not decide. SCC would have decided during the liquidation process. If that is the case, then again the fee has to be specified. Then whether the committee recommended for any compromise or arrangement. Again, this you'll have to refer to the CARP period. So 39BA.
Sir, a small question, sir.
Yeah. Go ahead, sir.
Sir, actually, this if SEC not decided, who will fix the fee, sir? As per the table.
No, sir. Actually, COC should fix the fee.
Yes.
If COC fails, let's say SCC also fails, then yes, by default, the table will become applicable.
You have chosen 42B means
the table, sir.
Acha, nobody has approved.
No. The table is approved in my case. It need not necessarily be the case that something else has to be approved. So in my case, table is approved. If you see 42B,
one second, sir. If we first one, if the
COC decides, sir.
COC not decided, it will come to second stage. The SCC has to decide.
SCC shall decide. Yes.
Actually, you are conducting the liquidation one, filing liquidation one. By the time SCC meeting might not be done.
Correct.
But who will fix the COC? Can COC fix the fee again here, sir?
SCC meeting, first SCC meeting should happen within 7 days.
Correct, sir.
So in that meeting, this has to be proposed. And this
that
filing will
again,
happen within...
Again,
Go ahead,
COC
sir.
will be only acting as SCC here.
You're right. In their capacity as SCC, they have to vote on it. You're right.
Yes. Okay, sir. Proceed, sir.
Yes, sir. And in either of this happens, then this table will by default become applicable, sir. That is our entitlement. If no fees is being approved by SCC or COC.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, usually they will approve the table.
Usually, sir. I mean, either they approve the table, or if it is a going concern sale, or if they know that it is going to be as a going concern, they'll approve monthly fees, just like how they approve for RP. Because there is the need to run the company, so they will approve a one-time monthly fees.
Okay, sir.
Next, with respect to recommending for compromise or arrangement, again, this should have been decided with the COC if they feel there is a need to explore the possibility of a compromise or arrangement. If that was decided, then yes, otherwise no. It's again straightforward question. We would have filled this even in Form H as well. So similar questions will come. Then whether COC recommended for sale of the CD as a going concern under Regulation 39C of CARP regulations. So this again, whether this is again a factual thing. If they have decided for going for a going concern, yes, otherwise no. Then status of documents issued from RP. This is a very interesting point. In my case, I was the RP being continued as a liquidator, so I opted yes and I closed it. But generally, if a new liquidator, if a new IP is being appointed and you are being taking the control from an existing RP, then there is definitely a need for you to take the entire set of documentation which the RP has. So ideally, if at all a new liquidator comes and before the 10th day of the next month, you need to ensure that all the documents are being received. That is a safer option. Or you need to at least have a status as to what documents have come, what are missing. So if there are any missing documents, then you need to ensure that you're listing out along with this form liquidation 1. So this is a very important document. Tomorrow, I mean, if you see how they're trying to link this, tomorrow, let's say as the liquidator, something goes wrong and in some disciplinary action, you comment that never given me that information, then they will get back to this form and say, boss, you yourself said all the documents are received. You never pointed this out. So we have to be pretty careful with respect to status of documents. See, ideally speaking, there may be a possibility that all the documents with respect to the company may not come. But all those documents which the RP is in possession of should essentially be given to the liquidator. Now, that much of transition we have to record properly by way of a document, at least by way of a handover document from the RP to be signed as to what all documents were handed over from the RP to the liquidator. Now, that should be a good compliance in terms of a backup. Tomorrow, if any inspection happens, we need to justify
whatever the document we have received, we have to prepare and we have to take the checklist.
List it out,
just like a checklist. And we have to
Correct,
get the
sir.
acknowledgement on that.
And get it signed. Yes, sir. Both the liquidator and the residual RP has to sign, so that is a good document for us to show to IBBI in any event of questioning. So other than this, there is no other information. It's a very basic information being sought by IBBI. And also the
Sir, one
documents, if
query,
at all.
excuse me, sir, excuse me,
Yes,
one
sir.
query. So that list what we are getting from the RP, no? That list we have to attach here, no? Last upload the document there. We have
Better,
to
sir. Yes,
upload
correct. Correct. It's not a
it.
mandatory attachment, but I would suggest that if we have a list to attach, it would be a good compliance.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. But it's not a mandatory attachment as such. If you feel that,
Okay.
why to unnecessarily invite all this from IBBI, we can avoid it. If they seek, we can provide. But
Okay.
otherwise, it is an open thing. There is no mandatory attachment to this. So if at all you ask me what all attachments can go here, firstly, liquidation order can go, but we would have already filed with IBBI, but along with liquidation one also, we can refile it as a certified copy, we can file it. And secondly, we can file this extract of the minutes where the COC would have decided the liquidator's fee, COC, SCC or SCC has decided the liquidator fee, or where COC recommended for compromise or rejected this as resolution. Similarly, where the COC recommended for sale or rejected this resolution, so that it can be a finality in terms of what you have disclosed in this document. So that is this basically liquidation one is a straightforward form, sir, purely factual, and any attachments like even the public announcement you can attach again. So it's completely left open to us. Why say I didn't choose to, because all these were already attached to IBBI, so I didn't choose to attach it again. But it's up to us. Like if we feel that's a good compliance, we can do it. Yeah, just a second, sir. We'll now show the other. Yeah. So we'll now see the other forms. Liquidation 2. Liquidation 2 will be a very critical form because liquidation 2 is something which liquidation 2 is something which will have a regularity, because as I said, every quarterly we'll have to file it. And this is just like the progress report which we submit to the NCLT. So basically, as there was a recent amendment, recent instance for past maybe last 2-3 quarters, we are getting emails from IBBI reminding us to submit the progressive report, quarterly progress report. So we were doing it on email. So now that email thing is discontinued, everything we'll have to file the progress report only through liquidation 2. So if I have to summarize what is liquidation 2 is just like what a progress report is. It asks you questions on realization or recovery, then distribution. It asks you various issues with respect to valuation, any progress on preferential transaction kind of a thing, or in details of the SEC meeting which took place during that quarter. So all of this will be clearly documented in liquidation 2. And the deadline is the moment we submit the progress report to adjudicating authority, for which again, for example, just to keep the things straight, like for example, September 30 quarter, the deadline for submission of progress report to NCLT is October 15. And the deadline for filing of form liquidation 2 is November 10th. So it is on or before 10th day of the subsequent month after the submission of progress report to NCLT. So we submit progress report within 15 days of the end of the quarter. So October 15th we submit. And within the next month would be November, on or before the 10th day of November. So it happens the same thing for every quarter. So technically from the end of quarter, you have almost 40 days for you to submit your liquidation 2. So timeline wise, it is pretty clean. There is no hurdle in the timeline. It is just that for compiling this information and keeping things straight, it might take some time. So let us now see what are the various the informations being sought to be filled in liquidation 2.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Sir,
Yeah, sir.
progress report, no, we normally, as per the liquidation regulation, we will file within 15 days from the end of the quarter. For example,
Correct.
March
Correct.
2024 means 15th April. But here,
Yes.
no, here in this liquidation, LAQ 2, we have to file 10th of April. No?
Next. No, sir. 10th of the subsequent after submission of report to the AA. So in your example, you
10th of
submitted
May.
in April, it will be May.
So 10th
May
May
10th.
we have.
Correct.
Thank you.
Everything will be 2 months. If it is June,
Okay.
your due date will become August. If it is September, it becomes November, like that. But 10th of it, 10th of the day. Yes, sir. So that's why I'm saying there is a definitely good amount of time, sir. We need not hurry in terms of filing these forms. And major information is what we file with NCLT only. So let's look into it, sir. So firstly, the company, whether progress report was filed within time. So obviously there has to be disclosure, and at what date your file has to come here. Then whatever progress report we have submitted to NCLT has to come as an attachment. So this is the first thing they do. Whether you filed, yes, what is the date of filing? Submit the entire report. Then whether the liquidator has undertaken fresh valuation. Now, this is something again which is very factual. So, with respect to valuation, there are certain questions like what is the value, what was the whether you have taken under fresh valuation during the liquidation process, or was it taken earlier during the CARP itself. So, all such questions will come. Since these are some relevant, some confidential information, I may not be able to show the entire amounts, but just try to look at the questions as such. So, the valuation details, whether any asset realized. Now, this question is focusing on whether any asset is realized during this particular quarter. So now, if no asset is realized during that particular quarter, then we have to explain as to why we could not do any sale during that quarter. See, the ideal requirement, if I have to show you this, where is this question cropping up is from Schedule 1. Now, Schedule 1 says that we will have to do a first sale within 45 days from the, So it says the liquidator shall issue a public notice within 45 days from liquidation commencement date unless the public notice is for auction. So the requirement of law is within 45 days from the LCD, we should go for a first auction notice. Unless the SEC is advising us to extend the timeline. So if at all, let us say we are filing this for the first quarter and we could not do even a single auction. Now, there may be multiple reasons. Why? Number one, probably we are exploring the possibility of compromise and arrangement, which is being considered. So fine. Number two, maybe that there is a litigation which is happening. So there is a stay on this process. So we could not do. So now number three, where the SEC itself has advised to maybe push this forward, considering various other practical issues. So whatever it is, which has to be properly documented, preferably both in your minutes of the SEC meetings and also here in this form, we have to clearly document why we could not go for a sale during the respective quarter. Then the reason thereof, then whether any assets are not being put for sale as on the date of the progress report. Now, what does this mean? It means, but is there any asset? So, this is again, as I said, again, factual and subjective to the respective facts of the case. For example, you would have had 10 assets. Eight of the assets are sold, for which you already filed your progress reports. Now, is there any asset which is not at all being put up for sale? So, which means you have never even approached this auction process. Then you can put those details alone. And what are the reasons? Maybe there's a litigation on that particular title of the property, or the possession is still not there with me. So therefore, I could not go for a sale, such kind of a thing. And they will ask the relevant details of that assets. What are those assets? What is the estimated realizable value? And why was it not being sold? So the reasons we'll provide and we'll give the respective details.
Sir,
Now, whether
excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Sir.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sir, this
No problem.
LAQ 2, no, we have to file for the events, whatever activity that they're asking in the LAQ 2 should relate to only to that particular quarter. Correct, no, sir?
Yes,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right.
This is the first quarter, we are filing for March 2024. Whereas in a company where the sales, valuation, everything has happened in the earlier year, 2022-23, in that case, how can we file those details, sir?
No, sir. So basically, what is the fact as on the progress report date? So you would have filed some facts to the NCLT, right? Similar facts you have to produce here, sir. Like for example, okay, let me take your example. You're saying that valuation. Give me one example, sir. I'll try to see how to fit it here.
Yeah,
like, is there any difference?
Valuation done during 22-23.
It was in CARP or liquidation?
CRP.
So there is a question here whether the liquidation has undertaken fresh valuation. No. Then details of valuation, fair value during CARP. Liquidation during. So you'll give the value here. Here they will not. Here it is not as on the progress report. You can give a previous 3 years also.
Okay.
You got the point, sir? I'm here.
I got it, sir.
Yeah.
So
similarly,
in case the company is having only FD, sir. Okay, fixed deposits. They are not having any other results. In that case, the valuation will not arise. So in that case, I can skip this to point 2. I can skip this.
You can skip, but sir, having said that, if at all, let's say only FD deposit is there and you did not do valuation or whatever, then if you want to say that whatever is the value, it's better to disclose the value and give a note saying that the company only has the note can be going as an attachment. So there's a form we can attach any document here. So in the attachment, we can provide that this is the facts of this company. Though the company's valuation is done, or for this reason it could not be done, and this is the value, which is the value of the fixed asset, and that the same is disclosed in entry number 2. If you give such kind of a note, then there is no problem.
Okay. Okay,
Sir, a small doubt, sir.
Yes, sir.
If you click no, I think whether it will allow to fill the data, sir?
Yeah, it allows, sir.
Acha,
It
he
is
is
still
asking
allowing.
whether you have conducted fresh
Yes.
valuation. Okay.
Correct. So when we are saying no, so it's asking, okay, then give me the valuation done during CIRP types.
But can we mention average fair value during the CRP without valuing this FD, what sir is telling? Can we mention
no,
that
correct.
value here, sir?
Actually, in sir's example, he's saying that there is no other asset. Only asset is FD. So it also has some value as per the RP. In his opinion, whether to do a valuation or not is one question. Second, let's say he has decided not to do a valuation because it is just an FD. Then whatever is the value of FD will become naturally the value of the fair value. So
Details
he
of
should have
valuation
adopted
he is
it.
asking.
Correct. Only the amount,
But-
sir. So ideally, it should be as per valuation report. So
what you said, we have to attach a note, I think. Probably that will be good.
With any deviation where we had to do under special circumstances, it has to follow by a note, sir. The note has to very clearly explain why we did this.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Now, as I move forward to point number 5. Yeah.
Prakul, I'm sorry, actually, I joined a little late only. I'm so
Hello, sir.
sorry.
Yes.
My only request is that, the forms, we are not able to retrieve the forms. Even if I put search also, I'm not able to retrieve the form.
After your filing, sir?
No, not after filing. I filed the form one for everything actually.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me show you, sir.
The moment I go, the next one actually just go down, and this one, I'm not able to retrieve any of the form. That is why I'm not able to fill up. I do not know what.
I'll tell you, sir. Yes, sir. If you are logged in, so there are 2 dashboards we have now. So one dashboard is the first, immediately after step-by-step guide, here in the left, you find one dashboard, this one.
Okay.
You have to click that. Then right under the CD name, there is 2 additional blocks they have added: liquidation form, voluntary liquidation form.
Okay. Dashboard, I had to click on that.
Yes, sir. So what you can do, sir, during this session, you can try that and let me know. If it's not happening, I can help. So, or anyways, you just note it down, sir. Right under this
dashboard and okay.
Yeah, first dashboards. There are 2 dashboards. You have to click on the first one.
Okay.
And right under this search, you have a liquidation form button. You have to click on it. So now for liquidation forms, they have separated entire thing from the CIRP.
Well, then where do you go actually? You have to go down, is it? Oh, okay.
Yes, you have to just scroll down. You will find all the company. I mean, your company is here and the forms are listed out here. Probably we are just here. This search is not working, sir. Basically, this is for adding a new assignment. So you just have to scroll down. You will find it, sir. If otherwise, you let me know, sir. I can help you.
Okay.
Yes, sir. No, definitely there are some technical issues. Few of the RPs are facing, but to the extent they are trying to resolve everything actually. Okay, sir. Now, okay. As I move forward, in item number 5, entry number 5, we need to provide for any pending litigation. So in terms of litigation, they are not asking majorly in terms of any major facts, only basic facts as to what is the application date, who is the applicant, what is the nature of application, then what is the amount involved if it is a pecuniary application, then what is the litigation cost. Like, this probably would be interesting thing, that looking at the litigation cost, because we need to know segregate as to each of the company what would be the litigation cost. So each of the litigation, what is the liquidation cost? Then again the status, whether it is pending or disposed. 1 second. And then we also have to give what is the authority pass note. So if at all it is disposed, it would be pertaining to what is the pending, who is the authority who passed the order, then the date of order, abstract. Now this abstract has to be very simple also. For example, progress report was heard and disposed. So we put that progress report was heard and disposed by the NCLT. Now even progress report is one of the litigation. Like earlier quarter, we would have filed a progress report that would have been disposed. So we need to upload that order and attachment. So here you can decide. Ideally, they are not asking for the entire petition as such, because we would have filed it under 208 with in the respective forms we have already would have filed. Otherwise, if at all we feel that it is prudent, better to file the entire attachment in this progress report so that they know that this is the file.
Acha, 1 second,
this
sir.
is-
Even
Yes, sir.
even filing of progress report also pending litigation.
Better, sir, to show it as a litigation and disposed. It's just that,
Oh.
there would be a quarterly track that this progress report was heard, disposed. Otherwise, there is no other area where we are disclosing the order of the NCLT taking this on record. So it's better to keep this in this. Even your any other interpretation also fine. I mean, if you don't upload also, it's okay because there is a hard. It's as such, it's not litigation.
Anyway, we are filing the moment progress report filed within 1 month. But again, attaching filing, I don't think so. Of course,
No.
if you file, it is okay.
No, sir. I am filing the order, basically, not the report.
Okay.
So if, like, for example, by then my so I thought it fit that okay. So NCLT is aware that this report is taken on record. Hello, ma'am. Please tell me, ma'am.
Sir, yeah, this is Santan Lakshmi from Chennai. So I have a
Yes,
small
ma'am.
question. This litigation, whether this litigation includes all the applications filed by us. For example, we would have filed IA for progress report or something.
Correct.
Should
Ma'am,
we
I-
include all these application details here or only section 19.2 or any POC transaction? Those kind of litigation we should mention here, sir.
Ma'am, I feel as an intention, as you rightly said, the intention is to get on the details of these kind of litigation, as you rightly pointed, 19, 43, 45, avoidance wala, or any other litigation in High Court, Supreme Court, or maybe some kind of land disputes we have, or any litigation pertaining, which is affecting the company has to come here. But our IAs, which we file like that of progress reports, as you pointed, or preliminary report, list of stakeholders, these may not qualify here. But as a matter of why to unnecessarily invite such kind of queries. So I am of the impression that irrespective of whatever IA we file, be it normal IA in terms of complaints, or be it with respect to any litigation, it has to come here is my view.
Column also. We are actually spending some money towards the filing IA also. So that is why I'm asking the question. Otherwise, I
you're
wouldn't
right.
have.
Correct. You're right. Actually, you're correct.
Cost is also involved.
Correct. So when you're absolutely right, ma'am. I think that then it makes or the more sense that we need to file all the details. The reason being that if we are treating it as a litigation cost, it's better always to disclose it here, where the litigation cost has come. Any thoughts, ma'am?
Okay, sir. And the one more thing, sir. Once I have already filed a LAQ 1 and LAQ 2. In case if I want to modify it, is it possible, sir?
No, ma'am. Unfortunately, I also observed that unlike CARP forms, they're not giving the option to modify. We're only able to view the forms. The option to modify is not available, unfortunately. Even with fees also, there is no possibility.
Sir. Here what happened?
True, ma'am.
Claim details are asked in LAQ 2. Okay, I submitted certain things and in the third LAQ 3, when I fill up, it is correlating the earlier data. And
Every column is correlated.
That's second, the next form I am unable to file because of some mistakes that I did in the previous form.
Okay.
So now
there is one option you can do before 30th September. You write to them and ask them to open the form for editing, and they can manually do it. So basically, they have disabled this option for us, but at their end, they always have an option to enable it for you. So you should explain this situation and write it to them immediately. Yes, and they respond with this, so they're responding. So you can call them and inform, they'll definitely help. Before 30th September, they're willing to do any of this help. After that, we can't expect. Yeah.
Sure, sir.
Okay,
thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. No, I think that's a very valid point which ma'am was discussing. One is with respect to, because there is a disclosure of litigation cost. So I also feel it is better to provide for all the details of whatever the IAs we file, so that there is a full valid disclosure of what is the amount of litigation cost we have incurred and for what purposes. So that is one. And here, any orders or attachments we can put, and some abstract of order we have to draft and put it. This is again very simple, straightforward. We did this even in CARP, so not much of a concern. And coming to preferential transactions. So if
1
at
minute,
all,
sir, sorry, 1 minute. Sir,
no
please
problem.
go to the field 2, sir, relating to valuation. There, no, it is asking for valuer 1, valuer 2, like that, and average. Yeah. So in a company, they have done valuation by only one valuer. In that case, how to fill that average valuation column? It is not accepting it. It is
No,
asking to fill the.
you show 0, sir, in other columns.
Even then, it is saying that average value. No, it's asking the fill it. Otherwise, it is not allowing to go ahead.
As a
It is
0 is
showing
also
as
not taking.
Yeah, 0 it is accepting, but it is saying that to fill it. Oh, more than 0 it is asking to fill.
Correct. It says
So
0 cannot be accepted. Acha.
yeah. So I thought of filling the same amount and give
So
a
can
note.
you show it to
So
me on screen, sir, if possible?
now, no, it is in
Oh, no,
Dusra
not
system,
problem.
sir.
Yeah. No.
Okay,
But sir, tell me, just guide me on one thing. So
लेकिन
you
मेरे को तो
select.
letter mail भेज दिया sir IBPA को.
Then better. So, but you have opted yes in for point number 1, right? Or no?
No, 2, sir. 2.
Correct. What was your
They have done
response to point 1?
valuation, but only from one valuer they have done. So in that case, I am clicking yes, and it comes to the average fair value and liquidation value. No? After that, it is asking valuer 1, valuer 2, and average. 3 columns are coming. If you want, you click and see that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm just checking. Actually, these are all filled forms, so I may not be able to. I'll just check. So wait, let me try for a new form. No, basically, all these practical issues are only more relevant because otherwise, all the facts everybody of us are aware. I'll just try. Suppose I click yes, sir.
Click कीजिए no sir. इधर देखिए ना valuation during liquidation
Liquidation
process.
process.
बाद में इधर
Got it, sir. But I think we have filled first. Okay. It is taking from below before, I believe, sir. Already all the values. So here, so you find you tried.
No, for example, land and building. First valuer I am putting one amount. Second valuer, if I put 0, no, it is not accepting.
So try to see 00. Probably it is accepting.
I mean, this person has done no 00. They have clicked.
Now it is working, sir. I think because otherwise it will not be saved as a draft. So I think in my team has submitted 00. Probably it is working. Just try it around, sir.
Okay, sir. Please confirm.
Sure. Okay.
Sir, another one.
Yes.
This March 2024 is the transition form we are filing. So it is advisable to file all litigations, including progress report, right from the LCD till March 2024. So that when we go for dissolution, everything will be carried forward. Correct, no, sir?
Perfect. You're right.
Whatever litigation here we are presenting, no, that will be, auto-populated in the next quarter, right?
Correct.
Again, whatever is pending, there we have to, if it is got
Give
dissolved, we have to fill it as
Yes.
dissolved. So until dissolution, it will be keep on continuing. Correct, no?
Correct. Absolutely right, sir. Absolutely.
Okay, correct. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Somebody else was also actually. Yes, sir.
Hello, Prakulji. I have also one doubt. Actually,
Hello, ma'am.
So we have already filed form LIQ 1 and 2 for few companies. And when I was trying to file form LIQ 3 today, but I'm unable to save any of the data.
Acha, you mean liquidation 3 you are unable to save, ma'am? Liquidation 1 and 2 is there.
Yeah. 1 and 2 was done 2 days back. And today when I was trying to fill LIQ 3, data is not getting saved. So I'm unable to move forward, like as the due date is arriving, right? And I've also written an email today to the technical team. But
they would have simply, because ideally, majorly they are only focusing on liquidation 2s because there are many pending liquidation forms. While coming to dissolution, liquidation 3 is only after you would have filed your dissolution application. So the cases will be very less compared to these issues. So they're first solving this, I believe. So liquidation 3, so ma'am, it means you're unable to even, like it is not showing draft saved or anything?
Nothing.
Oh, is it? Okay. Check. 1 second, ma'am. I'll just check that.
Yes, yes, please.
Suppose I'll just assume a date. Acha, it is asking for the form. It's being saved, ma'am. I can see here that it is saved. I'll just see whether it is saved. It is getting saved, ma'am.
But in my system, it is not getting saved.
Ayyo. Then this is also possible, ma'am. I'm not saying that any for reason. Generally, this is we are facing this for few logins. There is definitely an issue, and for few logins, there is no issue. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Prakul, I have one.
Yes,
sorry. Yeah.
No,
in
go ahead,
two
sir.
cases, what happened is the liquidator changed in the middle. Okay.
Okay.
After a few months, the liquidator was changed. Now I had written to the new liquidators have taken charge. They are also filing. Now, should I also file?
No, sir. Come again, sir. Come again, sir.
The liquidator, I was a liquidator for two companies. In the middle, the liquidator was changed.
Oh.
So the new liquidators are filing the form.
Okay,
So
but for
also...
this quarter, were you the liquidator, sir?
No.
Achha, ideally, unless you are the liquidator for this quarter of March or June, you need not file, sir.
Achha, March or June, then we need to file, no?
Because you should have filed the application of progress report with NCLT. That's when this becomes applicable to you.
Okay.
But for March, for example, April 15th, if you when you submitted the progress report, if another liquidator had submitted the progress report, not you, but you were a liquidator before, this will not apply to you. So for this till December quarter, they are not applying because till December quarter, we were doing this complaints by email. All progress reports are being sent on email.
Okay. So March and June, I have to check.
Correct, sir.
No, March I was there actually. So that
means then March you file, sir. That's enough. March quarter you can file and you can get done with it.
Oh.
For this, actually, the September 30 deadline is for March quarter only, and technically even for June quarter, because by March and June, if you finish, the next quarter will come applicable for you by November 10th. So if suppose June you are not the liquidator, then the new liquidator will file. Since March you were the liquidator, it will become applicable to you, irrespective of whether he files or not. You have to file.
Okay, but see, another thing, why I don't understand. They are asking 2018 closed cases also.
Because it's the first time you are filing, no, sir. So it's better to disclose all the details and show it is disposed and just upload the order.
Okay.
Ideally, if at all it's too much of a list, then a story. So otherwise, if it's a few cases, better to give and close it, sir. Because at times there's no logic from them. It's better to disclose everything, right from liquidation till now, what all cases disposed, not disposed. Better to keep it here and show this is a pending or this is disposed, so that they're aware.
The only thing is it consumes time and retrieval of very
True. No, sir. To the extent, otherwise also, see, for example, if it is pending, majorly they're concerned about pending litigations. So pending litigation, definitely there is no excuse. Where it is disposed, and if you could not find that, I think that should be fine. It's to the extent you can, you upload, but pending litigation definitely has to be 100%.
The purpose is to ascertain pending litigation.
Majorly, yes, pending litigation, sir. And suppose let's if at all we say no to the pending litigation, then they're not asking anything. In fact.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
In this LIQ3, that in point number C, it's not popping up actually. I mean, when we are trying to put the date, it's not popping up to put the date.
Yeah, ma'am. I also had a similar issue when I was doing in LIQ2 for a date. But but the form is not stopping because of this. So what I did, I filed a note. I'll just show you. I just kept a note saying that I first sent an email to them, no response. They could not rectify this to me. So I immediately have sent them a note saying that this is the issue, and therefore I am filing it as a attachment. So if
But
you,
then
I'll just show you.
filing also not happening. No, we tried to go ahead like that.
There
But
is the star mark, ma'am, in your case. Is it
what
a
is that?
mandatory? Is it a mandatory item in your case?
Yes, it's a
Acha,
mandatory.
acha, acha. So for me also, if you see here, I was unable to fill the date. So
Yeah.
what I did, I attached a note, just replicating that I'm unable to attach it. So therefore, this is the note, and I kept a table and I filled the form.
Okay.
So, but I'll just check, ma'am. Liquidation 3, you are saying.
Yeah. Point number C.
Yeah. Liquidation form 3. Okay. So point number what, ma'am?
C.
C. This no, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. In this date,
In
there is
that red button you just press.
that is delete, ma'am. But there is no date as such here, no?
No, auction date is there, not that one.
Correct. Here I am unable to fill. But I understand, ma'am. Maybe for you it's not coming because I've experienced it myself. That date is not getting disclosed. Even if I open a new form, it is not getting disclosed. And I don't think liquidation 3 we can open a new form also. Only one form will open.
Yes.
Yeah. But it is not showing a star mark here, ma'am. There is no star like here. So I think it will go ahead with filing. You try to fill rest of all the information. And
Yes. Actually, I have go ahead to file that, but it's not taking up because of this issue.
oh, is it? Achha. Then I think you need to send a screenshot to them as an attachment and explain now. Otherwise, there is no solution. The only solution I found was it has taken in my case, but without star also, if it is objecting, then we'll have to check that.
To send any mail ID or
yeah, mail ID I'll give, ma'am. I'll at the end of the session I'll just add it here, and I also tell ICSA to send by email because they are also helping us actually. So they will also send by email. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Somebody else was also speaking. Ankur.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello.
Yeah. So I have one more question. So form LIQ1 is for the public announcement, right?
Yeah, till the public announcement.
So in one of our case, public announcement was done in 2019.
Okay.
And in 2021, the liquidator got changed.
Okay.
So are we supposed to file, or the new liquidator shall file this form?
Acha, you were changed. So ideally, the new liquidator has to file because it only talks about the complaints of the current continuing matters. So it's better. It's only for the new liquidator, honestly. He only has to continue because you cannot even add an assignment at this stage. Currently,
so what I have done, I have written an email also to the liquidator team stating that we have the liquidator got changed and the new liquidator is liable to file all these forms because on my portal also it is reflecting those forms.
Correct.
At the time of filing AFA for the authorization approval, so I have received an email from the ICSI team stating that we have to file all those forms. So I have
is it? Okay.
Yeah. So what we have replied that we are not currently the liquidator. So it is and this was the case of 2021. So in 2024, we are not liable to file these forms. But they are stating that you need to file the form. And before that, our AFA form will not get approved. So I'm not really sure what we should do.
No, but if at all the form is coming, so better file it off, ma'am. CRP1 at least. No, I understand. At times it is very illogical for them to ask for some information. But at the same time, they just want, if the form is reflecting on a screen, we have to file it how they see it. But I think with a valid, if the same note you put it as an attachment, very clearly saying at the time of filing this form, I'm not a liquidator. Nevertheless, since as it's come as an objection and I had to do it, I'm filing this form. You just put a note and submit it now because the form is populated in your login. Ideally, there's no requirement.
It might be possible it will get populated in the new liquidators portal also, right? So don't you think
100%, ma'am. There may be double filing. Yeah, there may be duplication to hoga. but it's okay. What can we do? If it's up to the IBBA to avoid it, if they are not giving clarity, always better to do it and then wait for the clarification than to wait for a clarification. Because I understand even ICSI sees it, if a form is being populated, means it is ideally a requirement for us to file it. And also because we are a liquidator at that stage, maybe that's their in call. But in my view, today who is the liquidator has to give all that information. It's not that all past liquidators have to come in and start giving information about their old matters. But nevertheless, ma'am, because there's no harm, please file it and close it, ma'am. There is no.
And also you said these forms we have to file for the concurrent ongoing matters, right?
Yeah.
But they are stating us that we have to file for those companies which are already liquidated.
Correct, ma'am. That is for liquidation 3 and 4, where dissolution application has already been filed or order has already been done. I was referring to only liquidation 2, where because I am the liquidator of this relevant quarter, like sir was asking that for a particular quarter he was not a liquidator. So there I told him that. But whereas for liquidation 3 and 4, yes, before September 30, even all those closed forms also we have to file. So that is clarified in this form. That for cases where application for dissolution has been filed with A or where an order has already been ordered. So there is no deadline. So where it is already ordered also or filed also, we have to definitely file these two. But when it comes to liquidation 2, you are not asked to file for all the quarters. Only March quarter. For example, you have a dissolution of correct, ma'am. March and June. Yeah, technically March and June. But if suppose you already had an order of dissolution before March, then obviously March will not come into picture.
Yes,
and
correct.
For such cases, liquidation 3 will become applicable, 4 will become applicable, but 2 will not become. So 1, 3 and 4 we will file. 2 we will not file. So 2 will come only if there is a progress report filed for March quarter or subsequent quarters. Otherwise, liquidation 2 will not come for us. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Sir, sorry, actually. Sir, can you
no, sir, please.
3 and 4. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, for 3 and 4, there is no deadline. Like already, suppose in your old matters where you are the liquidator, where there is already an application for dissolution filed by you, but it was filed long back, let us say, not in this quarter at all. And your order of dissolution is still not yet out. So liquidation 3 will immediately become applicable to you. Liquidation, which you have to file before 30th September, because already a dissolution application is pending. Sorry. And the date of filing of dissolution application is immaterial. So if you have filed it, you need to file liquidation 3 and before 30th September. And I'm talking about past compliances. And similarly, let's say you already had an order of dissolution with you long back, then both liquidation 3 and liquidation 4 will become applicable to you before 30th September 2024.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So it all depends on the fact of the respective case, whether it has been filed before. If suppose today you're only filing progress reports, none of this is situation has occurred to you, then there's nothing for you to do. You just have to continue filing your progress reports as of now. Only liquidation 1 and 2 will become applicable.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So this can you put it in chat box, sir? This circular actually.
Yeah, sure, sir. I'll just check if that's possible. Can I attach a document? Maybe I'll attach the link per se, sir, from IBBA.
No problem.
It's basically if you go to IBBA, it's in the circulars only, but I'm just putting it. That's okay, sir. I'm putting it on. Yeah, I just kept it in the chat box. Sir.
Thanks.
Okay. No problem. I will go back now to our form. Yes. So liquidation 2 again. So we are done with litigation details.
Sir, I have a query, sir.
Yes. Hello, ma'am.
So you were saying that in case AA had already passed the order, then we have to file only liquidation 3 and liquidation 4.
Yes, and if there is no progress report which you have filed for March quarter.
Right, sir. So in case we will not file liquidation 1 and liquidation 2, then liquidation 3 will not open.
No, liquidation 1 is mandatory, but liquidation 2, if there is no March quarter, then I don't think you need to file, ma'am, because if your progress report, I mean, I'm giving a fact but I understand your logic, but if you give me a fact, let's say your last progress report was filed last year, December. And subsequently, there is no progress report filed for either March or June because you already filed your dissolution application by before March itself. So in
Right,
such
sir.
situations, ideally we have to go directly with liquidation 3 only, because otherwise, if we are giving liquidation 2 here, then the quarter when we select, it won't be for this relevant quarter of 24 January March. It should be for
Right.
23 December.
Right, sir.
But I think you have a very valid point, because liquidation 3 is linked to liquidation 2.
Right.
But I didn't face this situation practically. But how did it happen
But
to you,
sir,
ma'am, in
in
your
case
case?
I'm not filling liquidation 2, then liquidation 3 is not opening.
But liquidation 3 by default, it is coming, actually. But I don't know if it is, I mean, unless I see that screen, I won't be able to comment. But ideally, like if suppose in my case, though I file liquidation 2, but liquidation 3 and 4, so it's not getting open, ma'am, for the new case?
Yes. In case I'm not filling it, liquidation 2, if I'm not filling, then liquidation 3 is not opening. But they are saying that please fill liquidation 2.
I got it, ma'am. What? Okay. Let's just try this once. If suppose we change this, and they're not giving us another year also. Like even for us to fill the old data,
Yes, sir.
see, they're only giving these 2, like January, March, or May, April, June. There's no December again.
Yes.
And it would all amount to a wrong disclosure, no? This is a problem actually. But when was the last quarter you filed, no? Progress report?
Sir, last year.
Acha, December?
I think more than 2 years, I have one liquidation application is pending before AA.
Oh, for dissolution.
Yes.
My goodness. Okay, that's why I think it will be, because they basically will need these amounts and all coming to liquidation 3. You have written to them, ma'am, already?
No, sir, I have not written because I was thinking that first I will, today I will attend this thing, then
Got
only
it.
I will.
Ma'am, you please give them a very clear note that firstly you very clearly identify that the progress report is not giving us an option to fill anything in 2023.
Right.
Or 2022 or 2021 in your case. You say you have to tell them very clearly, my last progress report was filed on so and so date, and subsequently I could not file even a single progress report. I didn't file because dissolution application is pending, and your form is not allowing me to fill the details. So accordingly, kindly you write that enable me to file forms liquidation 3 directly. That's what you write. Let us see how they'll respond now.
Okay, sir. Okay.
I'll just leave my email ID. If there's anything you feel there is you can approach me, ma'am. I'll try to assist you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sir, I have one query here.
Yeah.
So while we are filling the data for realized amount, when we are selling how the amount has been realized through auction or through a private sale or something, if we write about the details of the current asset, like we have done the recovery from debtors or say advances, okay. So in that case, we have not done either the auction or nor even done the private sale, not even done the assignment of these NRRs. In that case, there is no fourth option of coming as a recovery.
Achha, so you're talking about whether can it be a receivable? I mean, whether it can be treated as a recovery.
Right.
Actually, there was one clarification which IBB issued, ma'am, in this regard with respect to clarifying on the liquidator fee. So there, if my knowledge goes right, I understand what you're asking, but if my knowledge goes right, in that IBBS says that if at all there is a bank balance, so there's nothing you did to realize it, so there it will not come under realization, but any other realization of any form shall be categorized as a realization. I remember there's a clarification from IBBI. I'll just check that. So you're Miss Shika Gupta, no?
Right, sir.
Yeah. So, ma'am, is that your question? That saying, can that be qualified as a realization at all in order for us to take it as a liquidator's fee, a percentage of it?
The question is, if it is not coming within the auction, it is not coming within the private. It is a realization, sir. I have no doubts in that.
Definitely.
But which category should I put it in?
Okay, got it. The inflow. Any specific column in this form you're referring to? Like here, no realization from assets. Here there is receivables, no?
No, that is okay, sir. Go above where they are asking for the amount realized from different assets. Go up. It is a form 3 or form 4?
This is form 2.
In form 2 only it is there, sir.
Acha, wait.
Yeah, here, sir. Class of assets.
And
So
you
when you
realize
go
this
here,
amount, no?
yes, we have realized this amount. So
But
we
this
have
is
to
asking for assets not being put up for sale, actually. Acha, wait. I'll tell you where you're referring to. This is what it is. Mode of sale.
right, sir.
Correct.
Yes.
Class of assets. Let me just check. Let's in our case, let's say it is
SFA.
others. Let us say it is
Yeah.
others. I'll just try to see how to details of asset in brief. Okay, we will see again
SFA.
receivables.
Okay.
And your receivables, Acha, you're right. Sorry, we'll take it as SFA only. Yeah, sorry.
Right.
It is a receivable. No? Okay, we'll say receivables. Mode of sale, auction, private sale, assignment. Okay.
So then
All
no
the three are wrong.
Yes.
All the three are wrong, actually. And we have to mandatorily select one. Okay.
Yes, sir. Otherwise, it is
Rest
not
of
being
it, I
submitted.
think, yeah. These you can show 0 and all. Ma'am, I think the best way to close it, because considering the 30th September, is you take it as a private sale, or no, you show it as an auction just for the sake of it. And this screenshot you take, saying this screenshot, you very clearly take the screenshot and say the IVBA, the form fails to provide any other possibility with respect to the mode on which we can say. Therefore, we have selected auction. However, it is a pure realization, which we have also reflected in column entry number 8, serial number B, where we have shared serial number C, where we have recorded it under receivable. Because here it is very clear, receivables, auction, sale.
Yes, sir. That is.
So what you can do is, you can select auction, ma'am, no problem. Because I'm sure these guys will not respond before 30th. Unnecessarily, there would be a default from our side. So my suggestion is, you select either of it, but I feel auction should be safer. Select it and you take a screenshot very clearly explaining that I could not select any other column or any other option. Therefore, I've selected auction. And I've also filled that amount here. So therefore, this cannot be treated as an auction as such, but this is a recovery through receivable. And you include that note here in the attached note, ma'am. And here, if there is anywhere where we can write something, I don't think we can write anything. Otherwise, we would have said
No,
refer
sir,
the
I
attached
cannot write
note.
anything. There is no
So
remarks
better to
option
put
at
the
all.
note only, ma'am. So you put that in the note only, ma'am. Very detailed note you keep, and you please keep the screenshot. And also what you do, ma'am, before it, try to give 2 days time and send a screenshot right away to IBBA. Showing this option, saying that we don't have an additional option for selection because it is a recovery by way of receivable. So that if there is a response from them, good enough. If there is no response from them, you be prepared to file it as a note. But don't try to ignore the note, ma'am. Because
on which email ID should we communicate with this regarding?
That also, before the end of the session, I'll put it, ma'am. Liquidation email ID.
Okay, sure. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Anjali, if you are watching this session, kindly keep the email ID of either ICSI IPA or I think IBBA, obviously. Liquidation Department of IBBA, can you please keep that so that it's easier?
Yes, sir. I'm just sharing it. I will share after the session.
Madam, phone numbers also. Somebody gave one phone number, but nobody is lifting the phone number.
I will send through email also. All the details I will give it to email also.
Yeah.
Madam, somebody has to lift the phone, madam. My problem is when we call, no?
Then you can send me also. I will talk to them.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So yeah, that's one thing, sir. So basically, sir, I think in all these situations we are facing, one thing is, even if there is any difficulty in filing the form, whether better to have clear communication with IBBA, and to the extent possible, better to file the form before 30th September. And still, by way of how I explained, if there are some soft issues like this, which might be technically wrong, but still try to take a screenshot, explain it by a note and send it across to IBBA. And also, if suppose before 30th September, there's no response, better to file it as an attachment to this form and still go ahead and submit the form. Because I don't think IBBA might extend this. If they extend, good enough. Otherwise, it's better to file it. And if they get a response at a later stage, we'll tell them obviously that we didn't get a response, and therefore I had no other option but to go ahead.
Sir,
So
if
yeah.
we do like that, no, if we put a note and file, no, if that particular column is auto-populated column is, then we will be facing issue in the next form, no?
Sir, you ideally the next page, only thing what they're taking from there is the numbers. They're not taking rest of the information. So in numbers, anyways, it is editable in our form. So other than numbers, there's nothing which they are taking to the next column. And even if that's the situation, we are helpless, no, sir, because we don't know after 30 September, will they be imposing a fine for late filing or will there be some consequences? We're not aware. And so they are supposed to assist us. That's all. Ultimately, IBB has to assist us, and they are doing it. Definitely, initially we faced issue in terms of generating the cumulative figure. So we were giving the original number, and it is not taking the cumulative figure, saying that it is not tallying. So there was some technical error. So again, when we wrote to IBBI, immediately they rectified and they wrote back to us that now you can go ahead and file. So they are also doing it because this was done in June. So July, August, September, almost 3 months has gone by. So at the last minute, when we go with new queries, obviously they may take time to respond. But I was doing it like in the month of August, beginning of August only, we were trying to reach, and they were very active in giving back the responses. Now, considering maybe huge traffic of queries going to them, maybe you can expect a day or two of delay, but they're definitely responding, sir, on all the queries.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and then so we're just done with the litigations part. So later again, with respect to avoidance applications, all the details has to go in terms of this. And if at all an order has been passed, an attachment of that sort can be put. If there is no order, then we will have to file the application here along with the like what application has been filed can be attached, and preferably each section. I mean, ideally you need to keep for each section. It's better, and you can add the columns here if there is any other section. So that's about this. And in my case, so these again two situations. One, if the RP has failed. Second, if the liquidator has failed. So again, these are all basic facts. So I'm not getting much into it. Then with respect to SCC meetings, again, what are the number of meetings? So there's just one concern in SCC meetings many of us may face is with respect to the time span between two meetings. So where the gap between two meetings is more than 30 days, we need to give a reason. So as a matter of practice, because it is introduced only in February and we are trying to comply, and in many of the cases, there will not warrant a situation for us to even convene a meeting because we would have maybe some litigation is ongoing or the sale process is ongoing for which there is no need for intervention of SEC. So it's always safer to get an approval from the SEC for having these meetings at a regular interval, saying of not more than like at least one meeting in each quarter or in a gap of 90 days, something like that. We should take an approval and so that we can justify why there is a delay between two meetings. And yeah, and also it's very essential for us to inform here that in an event we differ from the decision of the SEC that has to very clearly come here. Why was there a disagreement between SEC and the liquidator and the justification as to why you had to do it? So I understand majorly this may not be the situation for many of us, but still we cannot outrule it. So the regulation also provides that we need to file it with the IBBA and NCLT as well. So regulation says within immediately we'll have to submit to the NCLT as well as to why there was a difference of opinion between liquidator and the stakeholders consultation committee. So the basic details of SCC has to come along with, in my case, I have attached the minutes of each of the meeting. So the date of the meeting, in the attachment, I attach the minutes of the meeting. So the minutes of the meeting are also filed with IBBI. Next, the inflow details. So this inflow details is majorly in the for the particular quarter. So in that quarter, so if suppose it was March, you would have showed the opening figure. So you can simply show the opening figure of cash is so much, so and so. It need not necessarily talk about that particular quarter because it's these are all as everybody who has already filed is review commenting.
Sir, this opening is as on LCD, sir. Liquidation commencement.
Sir, ideally for March quarter we have to put as at LCD, sir. Correct. This is as at LCD. But going forward,
quarter automatically it will come and sit.
Yeah,
no?
it will auto-populate. Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
Yes.
And then bank balances, FDR, everything we have to show at LCD date. Then as we move forward, just a second, sir. As we move forward, then with respect to receipts. So this receipts which ideally for the current quarter is what they say, and cumulative since LCD. So as I was saying, initially we had a concern where the cumulative column was showing an alert because there was no quote form before this. So then when we wrote to IBBA, subsequently the form got modified for all. And therefore now we can, for the first quarter, we can fill both. But from the second quarter onwards, the cumulative figure will get automatically added to your current quarter figures. So which means in March quarter, you would have given a certain figure that would automatically be staying as a cumulative unless you fill something here. The moment you fill something here, that gets added to this cumulative figure, and this figure will become uneditable. So this you can edit. Like for example, see, I modified it and then immediately the cumulative figure has changed. I added it again, the cumulative figure has changed. So cumulative will then going forward for the second quarter onwards, that is from the June quarter onwards, cumulative figures will keep adding automatically. But the current quarter figures will have to be manually edited. So that is one, I mean, again, pretty straightforward. So in the receipts, we need to see whether there's any contribution received. Yes,
Sir,
then what is the amount?
Sir, एक minute, sir. For the receipt, no, current year column as well as that consolidated column, no, cumulative column, both for the first quarter, I mean transition period quarter, March 2024, same figures we have to write, correct, no? I mean, whatever we are writing in the current quarter, that will repeat in the cumulative column for the first quarter, March 2024.
No, unless, no, sir, in the cumulative column is left editing for us. Like, I'll just show, sir. Because again, that may not reflect the exact situation, no? Since you may have the actual cost may be higher. One second. This is what I filed for the March quarter. Yes, I filed both same. So here in the current quarter, we'll have to show all that we did since the beginning. We'll have to put in the current quarter.
Yeah.
Now that will become automatically
cumulative figure. We have to. Sorry for interfering. Cumulative figure we have to write in the current quarter for the first transition quarter.
Correct.
Because
then that automatically takes as a cumulative figure. Yes, yes, you're right.
But
and
this,
that figure will automatically come in the
cumulative figure will automatically come in the June quarter. There, in the current quarter, we have to fill. Correct?
Only give the current quarter's amounts.
Yeah,
Correct, sir.
Yeah,
so this current quarter amount will be the total amount when it is March quarter. And it would be individual amount for the respective quarters moving forward from June. So that's when the cumulative figures will add.
In other way, I am explaining, please confirm me.
Please,
current quarter, March 2024 quarter, if I received 100 rupees and March 2024 cumulative total is 150.
So I'll show 250 in both.
Yes, 250 in both. Then in the June quarter, this 250 will automatically appear there. And in the June quarter, if I received some 50 rupees, there once again I have to write only 50 rupees. Automatically, it will cumulative to 300 or 250.
300 rupees. Correct, sir. Correct, sir. So from the second quarter onwards, things will go forward. But first quarter, we have to replicate it like that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. And similarly, realization, again, segregation is given. So it's pretty straightforward and self-explanatory. And other realizations also will come here. With respect to outflows, again, this is again a very important thing considering the liquidation cost. So what amount has gone for payment of CRP expenses has to come as column A. Then in the liquidation process, what amount of expense has been met and paid off has to go in column B. Then in column C, any going concern cost, that is for employee salaries, etc., which we pay during the process. Then column D would be, the next D would, row D would be the contributions repayment to COC members, that if we have paid back any repayments to the contributions of FC, that again will come here. Then finally, distribution. So if we have done any distribution under section 53, the order of priority, that total amount has to come here. So basically this will it's like a cash flow statement for us, which will keep matching for every quarter to quarter basis. And the closing and opening balances of the cash also has to match with our bank balances and the cash balance. So this is essentially the cash flow statement which we have to maintain in the liquidation process. Next,
we need to do many regrouping work, no?
Already oh my God, sir.
What we have filed is different from the heading.
Correct, what they want. Yeah, sir. Definitely a good amount of work is going on for us. Yes.
So herein after next time when we are preparing receipts and payments, we have to adopt the same, heading what they have given, no? In the same pattern we have
Yeah,
to
that's better, sir. That's
prepare, it
better.
will be. Mhm.
You're absolutely right, sir. That will save a lot of time. We just have to use these receipts and the payments, and so that it's clear that okay, IBBA and NCLT, this is what we'll file.
Yes.
That's perfect, sir. And whether proceeds from realization distributed within 90 days, and if yes, like ideally, in my case, no, because there was no asset which I was able to realize. But if we were able to, then we need to say yes or we need to give a reason. Again, pretty straightforward and factual. Status of the process. Now, whether we are going as per the timeline, then we need to give a process and say whatever is the status. If suppose you are not going as per the timeline, if we have already sought an extension, we will give an explanation that an extension has been sought. And whatever reasons we would have stipulated in our extension application filed with NCLT, similar reasons we can specify it here in the liquidation process as well. I mean, sorry, in the liquidation 2 form as well, so that it's just to satisfy them. And then coming to the attachments, in my view, see, preliminary report and asset memorandum are prepared only once. So, and when we first file our attachment in liquidation 2, it's better to attach this preliminary report and asset memorandum. Subsequent quarters, I don't see a need for us to keep on attaching this because these reports are one-time reports which don't change. So I feel it's better to just attach one quarter and then ignore for the subsequent quarters. Or if you feel why to unnecessarily cause this situation and it is attached for every quarter, then you can keep attaching for every quarter. That's also fine. And other relevant documents, so these other relevant documents include, like as I was explaining, certain note. So if you feel there is some issue here, some note you want to give, you can give a note and explain that. Or some orders you want to upload, which are in addition to this, better to upload here. So in my opinion, in your progress report which you filed with NCLT versus this liquidation 2 form, if you feel anything is missing, better to upload it here specifically. Or if you feel any other information might help the IBBA to get a better clarity on where the stage of the process is, better to keep it here. So because this is one good opportunity for us tomorrow to say that if suppose IBBA or ICSA institute has an issue, like, this was not brought to our notice or where was it brought to the notice, this is a very good positioning for us where we can inform any material information with respect to the company. So at least it is in the knowledge of both the regulators. So that way we can try to include that information.
So you are advising that advisable to file what we have filed with the NCLT, correct?
Definitely, sir. That anyways we would have filed it here at the time of here top only. Progress report entirely is going here.
Okay.
In an event, anything else, suppose some additional info you filed or something which is not coming up in any of these columns, but it is still very relevant for your case, better to upload it here, irrespective of whether IBBA is asking for it. It's just that there is always a documentary proof that you have informed IBBA. So slowly what IBBA is trying to do, they are cutting short on the email communication. So for CIRP, they did it successfully. Now, even for liquidation, they're introducing it that there won't be any more email compliances allowed. Only compliance they'll let us do would be by way of this liquidation forms. So any information we want to inform, any non-compliance we want to inform, better to inform it in this document only and give a clear explanation everywhere so that IBBA is well aware. And tomorrow, if there's any issue also, we can inform that, we have been openly disclosing this particular information in these forms to the IBBA. So this will definitely help us in such critical information. And non-disclosure of critical information also will become a problem, irrespective of whether it is asked in the form or not. It's always advisable to disclose where there is some information which warrants certain disclosure. So yes, sir. So this is with respect to liquidation 2. Majorly, I feel as liquidators, unless of course we have already filed a dissolution application, so that's a different situation. Otherwise, this is one form which we have to carefully file, and we'll have to continue to file till the time we go for a dissolution. Now let's quickly see liquidation 3 and try to understand what information is being sought. So liquidation 3 will fairly be a much detailed form because there is a finality. So liquidation 3, what is the applicability? The applicability of liquidation 3 is when you have already filed an application for dissolution. So let's quickly see this form. Yeah. So liquidation 3 is when on or before 10th day of the subsequent month after submission of dissolution or closure application to NCLT. So dissolution application is filed when there is sale of assets in any other mode apart from sale as a going concern or CD as a going concern. Where we are doing a sale of the CD as a going concern, we file a closure application and not a dissolution application. So that way, the two applications have been proposed. So if suppose you are filing it today, that is 23rd of September, the due date would become 10th of November. So that way, the due dates will be decided based on the filing of the dissolution application. So again, dissolution application, as I said, is a one-time form. Once you file the dissolution application, liquidation 3 will become a one-time form which has to be filed. So what are the details it is asking? Let's quickly see. These are some very random details I fill. So date of submission of application. So let's say today I submitted, the same day I've kept. Then is it for an early dissolution or is it only an application for dissolution in any other form? So under 44 or whatever. So accordingly, based on the fact we have to fill. Then which NCLT, case type, case number, filing. So these details are with respect to dissolution application, not the liquidation application. So obviously, the liquidation application details will be filled and the application attachment has to go here. So that is also there. Then with respect to unclaimed proceeds. So under regulation 46 of liquidation regulations, there is a requirement that where the recovery is such that there are certain creditors who have not yet claimed the deposit, or for some reason you are unable to credit it to them. In such an event, you have to deposit into the corporate liquidation account of the IBBA. So if at all you did such deposit, then you need to give it details thereof. When did you deposit, number of stakeholders who need this money, and the amount, and what is the reason for deposit. And in my view, you'll also have to attach a complete statement as to who is the person, what is the amount, what was the entitlement, what is the reason they could not get this amount. So that tomorrow when they apply to IBBA, this document will serve the IBBA for processing their refund. So that's how this works. Then details of assets realized till date. Again, this is complete list of assets, what all assets the company has. How did you do the sale? And this is where Shikha Gupta ji had a query saying that, there was a receivable. They were able to recover from debtors, while that is also a realizable money, assets being realized, which is a receivable being realized, which comes under securities and financial assets. But we are unable, the mode of sale, there is no mode of sale particularly for this because it's a receivable. Now this is a situation, right? So as I suggested, ma'am, that better to take a screenshot, write to IBBI so that let's see what they respond, or better to take the screenshot, select one of the options and go ahead and file it, and then explain IBBI the reason why you had to immediately file. Then estimated realizable value. So this is with respect to valuation. What is the value? How many failed auctions had happened? What is the reserve price? What is the successful bid amount? When was the auction conducted? And what is the amount which was received till date? So this is again, which would be a realization part as to what is the total amount which you have realized for a particular asset. Now,
Sir, sorry, if there is no dissolution, there is no dissolution, can we say 3 and 4 are not applicable?
Currently not. Yes, sir. As on today, it's definitely.
Is there any form in 2 which says that whether it is dissolved? No, if I say no, then 3 and 4 I need not even fill up, no?
Sir, ideally, it doesn't ask that, firstly, whether it is dissolved or not. But 3 will become applicable to you only if you have filed a liquidation application. Sorry, dissolution application. If you did not, if you did not file a dissolution application, so today you need not think of liquidation 3 or 4.
If you are selling the CD as a going concern, or somebody is taking under the compromise scheme, in that case, this LAQ 3 and 4 will not come, correct?
Immediately you're saying, sir, within the first 30 days only or 40 days only?
CD we are selling as a going concern. Company has such, we are selling as a going concern. And or through a compromise scheme of arrangement, somebody is taking the company. In that case, dissolution will not come. So I think this LAQ 3 or 4 will not
4
come.
will, correct, sir. But in compromise, it won't. In sale of CD as a going concern, we may have to file a closure application. So closure also will come here. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'll just show that relevant regulation.
Like in sir, this LAQ 3 in the circular, they have mentioned only dissolution like that.
No, they said dissolution of the closure, sir. Dissolution of the closure application.
Dissolution / closure. Okay, sir.
Yeah, / closure. So 45, we have this report of closure also.
Then in both the cases we have to file, no? Even if you are selling it under the compromise or scheme or sale as going concern, we
no,
have
sir. No, sir. In compromise, what is happening? Ideally, if you see here, the situation this stock is only as a sale as a going concern. Because in case of a scheme, sir, ideally it is outside the liquidation. That's why the time spent in the scheme for first 90 days is never considered a liquidation period at all. So if an order is passed under section 230 read with regulation 2B of liquidation process, that will not amount to dissolution or closure. It is amounting to just a scheme. That scheme will take care of the relevant process. So in such case, the liquidation 3 or 4 will not come into picture at all, because we need not file any further application with NCLT. NCLT itself is approving that scheme, and NCLT is handing over the company to them. But only when we are selling it as a going concern, because I'm selling it as a going concern, the entire CD again, not the business, where I'm selling the CD as a going concern, I file a closure application saying that, okay, though there is no dissolution, I'm closing this by way of sale as a going concern. But in case of scheme, neither closure nor dissolution will come into picture, because it is not a mode of sale at all. Scheme is a separate code by itself. Yeah. So that will not come under this. If there's a scheme, your point is absolutely right. We need not get into this liquidation 3 or 4. But if it is sale as a CD as a going concern, then we need to file a closure application. So therefore, CRP 3 will become automatically applicable.
Okay. So in case of compromise, we have to file LAQ 2 until handing over is over, correct?
Yeah, and until, yes, you're right, sir. So as long as we keep filing progress reports to NCLT, liquidation 2 also will have to go. If for any reason we did not file with NCLT practically, then liquidation 2 also we can justify why we did not do. So it all depends on the due date is, the trigger is filing with NCLT, sir. So the moment, as long as you file progress reports with NCLT, liquidation 2 will keep coming.
So in
Probably,
the
I think based on all our
last final report, which we are filing in case of compromise, better we need to say in the last report itself that LAQ 3 and 4 will not applicable in this case, like that we can write, no?
Better. Definitely better. And I feel the basis all these inputs, and IBB itself may come with one more form explaining in an event of compromise, give this information. So currently it is not there. Probably it didn't strike them, or maybe any intentionally, but once it's struck, definitely I think they'll come with one more form. But it's a very valid suggestion actually, what you said. But theoretically what we both discussed makes sense. That if it's a compromise, we will never file a dissolution application. So therefore, technically liquidation 3 will not become applicable. If they want to make it applicable, they'll have to modify the form.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, thanks.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, ma'am. Please.
Okay, so in my case, what the case is, in most of the assignments, I have filed a dissolution application. So as you said, liquidation 2 will not be applicable on us. But we are not
ideally,
able to...
yes. Correct, ma'am.
But
I got this point from... Yeah. Someone earlier also said that they're unable to open liquidation 3.
Like, so correct, what should we do in that case? Like, what we should first write to IBB and then proceed further?
Yeah, that's correct, ma'am. Or if you feel, if suppose IBB is not responding before 30th, the solution will be to fill it as March only. You select March, fill the entire information, and you give a detailed note that since the form could not provide for this, we selected the month of March. However, it is not March, but so-and-so month of so-and-so year, where we filed the last progress report. And unless we file this report, liquidation 3 is not being enabled. So therefore, we have filled this. All the details were pertaining to a quarter ended so-and-so or date for the period ended so-and-so. However, we have selected March only for the purpose of procedural compliance. You keep a note and go ahead and file it if IBB is not responding before 28th or 27th, because now next thing you have is a Sunday, Saturday. So maybe only till 27th they can respond.
But
so I feel it is better.
Progress report is being made like 2 years back, like in 2022. Last progress report is for that year only.
Correct, ma'am. That's what. You go ahead and select March quarter. You fill all the information pertaining to your last quarter ended, whatever is 2022. And you give a detailed note that you did this, that I had to select this only for the sake of enabling liquidation 3 form. So therefore, I filled all this information pertains to quarter ended October of 2022, September of 2022, or December of 2022, and not with respect to March of 2022. You can give such kind of a disclosure. In fact, when you select here, if suppose it says whether progress report filed is stipulated time, you can select no and give a reason, or it's better to give it in the note only, so they can understand. Or even in the progress report here also, you can give a detailed note that this progress report pertains to a particular quarter, but the report, liquidation 2 doesn't allow us to select a relevant quarter. So we filled it assuming it is March. only for the purpose of complying with the form. So like that, you can give a note. But before that, please write to IBBA, ma'am. I think already Anjali had left that email ID.
Because in our case, in most of the assignments, it is the case, and in that case, it will be very cumbersome for us.
For collating the information, you're saying?
Yes. Like if I have 6-7 assignments, and that is the case in all the assignments, that it will be very cumbersome for me to do all that now.
Oh my God, yeah. No, but yeah, that will be definitely cumbersome. But again, these figures would definitely be there, ma'am. It's just, I mean, it is an effort, but it's not like it's not possible. Definitely an effort. That's why they've given 3 months time, actually. I mean, 2 months, August and September, so that all this information can be collated and filed. But yeah, because this has come in July, the all this, in fact, I think June end they have given. Yeah, June. So July, August, September, 3 months have given. So I mean, what I'm trying to say is they will definitely not take that as an excuse. So better to compile and file it only. If at all ABB is not responding, don't wait for any clarification and file it across.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So as we move forward, whether any asset are not being put for sale as on the date of progress report, this becomes a invalid question for a liquidation 3 form, because we have already filed for a dissolution. So ideally we would have already sold, or there may be certain reason why we wouldn't have sold or whatever. So I don't know why this has come, and this is also refers to the progress report date, while we are not filing a progress report here. So, but nevertheless, fine. I mean, it's better to select no and go ahead. And if
Sir,
there's
on
any,
this I have a query, sir.
yeah,
Sir,
Deepaji, go ahead.
on this point, actually, when I am finalizing the form, this is not applicable on me, but when I am finalizing the form, it is showing the red mark on this table. You just fill it, then.
So you select no, ma'am. You select no, then it's done.
Acha, if I select no, then it will be done.
Yeah, they won't. There's no table.
Yes,
No,
I
only
have selected no, sir. I have selected no only.
It's still asking, huh?
It's still asking that this field is required.
But we have selected no. Ideally, when they select no, you should go ahead. But otherwise, then you have to select now and then again fill everything as others and give 0, 0, 0 and go
Others,
ahead.
I have selected others in this, and details
you can
of the
say not.
assets in brief. Okay, not applicable. Then estimated value is 0, 0. Then again it is showing the date of auction.
Where is date of auction? Details of assets. I can't find date of auction here. Huh? You're talking about this auction date here.
C1, yes.
This is realized till date, no? This definitely there would have been an auction date, no?
But now then in date of auction, when I am selecting the date, 2020 is not reflecting basically.
Yeah. That is a problem. Correct. Do one thing, ma'am. Whatever the date is there, see, and also in 2024 also, 2023 also, there's a limitation on the number of months. So you select whatever is the date of 23 or 24, and you give a clear note again that because 2022 wasn't there, so we had to select this date. I mean, the reason why I'm saying this, ma'am, I don't think they will be in a quick succession solving this. This is a very major problem, actually, what they're trying to do. But there should be some practical reason why they're unable to do this from the back end. Because time and again, even in my case, I had an issue. We have complained, but it was not rectified.
So where I have to give the disclosure?
Disclosure we will have to give here only in this attachments. Give any of the other attachments, you put it as a note and submit it.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. So yeah, then we'll do this. Okay. No, onerous property. So if we have disclaimed any property because of the difficulty in realization or whatever, we can give the details if yes. Otherwise, yeah, no. Major cases, it is no. So we can select it. Then again, unsold assets distributed. So if there are some assets for which instead of doing a sale, if suppose we want to distribute the asset per se to the stakeholders, then what is such asset that we can give here, and what is the permission of NCLT date as to come here? Again, these are very specific, very few cases you will find this. So it will be like to some liquidators who would have done this. Then amount realized during the process. See, and as I say, this liquidation 3, just to give you a disclaimer, this will become applicable across all liquidators. whoever would have filed a liquidation application, resolution application, irrespective of when it would, as ma'am was saying, Deepa ma'am is also facing a similar issue. It would have been filed a couple of years back, 4 years back, whenever it is. We have to ensure this form is being filled and filed because this is for as a repository for those cases which were disposed long back. And this is also supposedly to be a repository for the forthcoming cases. So that's why that effort has to be made and this has to be filled. There is no other option. So we'll have to do that. And at least as per now, there is no clarification that it is not applicable. As of now, it is definitely applicable irrespective of the timing when that was filed. Amount realized during the liquidation process. So whatever amount, this is again the final amount. So total amount, whatever we have realized during the process has to come here. Then distribution. So now this distribution, they've given it strictly in accordance with 53(1). So this table has to be properly filled, like number of claimants, what is the amount they have claimed, total claims admitted by us, and then what is the amount across you have distributed. So suppose there is any order, like for example, PF fees. So even though PF authority, so we all know that nowadays, now this law is becoming clear and clear with respect to distribution to PF. So suppose PF is paid totally as a superior cost in addition to all of them, then there has to be some area where you will mention it that, okay, this amount has been paid to PF in addition to this so-and-so. But if you see parallelly, there is no such element here. So we may have to fit it somewhere and try to give a detailed remark that out of this amount, some amount of this has been paid towards the PF cost, which has been paid in super priority over any other expenses with respect to whatever the interpretation have. Otherwise, these remarks will mean nothing. You can just leave it unless there is any specific line entry for which you need to provide a remark. You can do it. Otherwise, you can leave it. Then inflow. So with respect to inflow details, contribution from financial institutions. Yes, contribution to liquidation cost from financial institutions is here. So whatever is the amount being contributed, again, this is the same thing which we did last time, but this will be a total amount. It's all cumulative. So this is taken, like if you see, this is taken ideally from the final amounts which we have filled till the last quarter. But
sir,
there is
this
still a
form
room.
data will come as auto-populated, no, sir?
Yes, this completely auto-populated. Currently, I am able to edit it only because I feel they would have given an option considering for this last all applications. But I think going forward, this will not come. I should not be in a position to edit it. It should be a simple summation of the entire amounts which I filed in the progress report. So ideally, that's how it is. And then all these realizables, auction sale, everything will be a cumulative figure auto-populated from all our filings under Form 2. So ideally, that's how it has to be. And then coming to outflow details, again, the outflow also will be majorly auto-populated from what we have already filed. However, see, I can see that it is being edited now because I didn't file all my progress reports. In a sense, all I did, but in my case, it is not yet come for realization. But yeah, still. All these details ideally will be auto-populated, like just like obviously on the screen. If there's any variation, I don't think there should be any variation at all. As one of our has rightly pointed in one, like I think initial sessions, he said that in initial sessions, she informed me that she was unable to file CRP3 because there is an error between CRP2, liquidation 2 and liquidation 3, the figures. So even if we are editing this, suppose I edit to so and so, then when I try to file the form, it will definitely tell me that there is an error between liquidation 2 and liquidation 3 in terms of reconciliating it. So therefore, our figures has to be utmost, and as one of the other participant in the session has pointed, we are not in a position to edit it also. Because the earlier form once filed is filed, there is nothing which we can edit in that. So basically liquidations 3 form is all about receipts and payments majorly and the distribution. So otherwise there is no much information with respect to litigation and all. It is mainly concerned with what are the assets which are still unsold, what were sold, what were disclaimed, and then how did you distribute it? And if you're distributed, what is the amounts you have distributed? What were your receipts? How was the distribution made under 53? And again, a final receipts and payments statement. So this way, you have a total idea of what this liquidation 3 has to contain. And then the attachments are final report. So this final report will go along with the application filed for a dissolution or closure of the process. So the final report is a different report altogether. So the final report will go. Then Form H, complaint certificate will go, and any other direction of NCLT. Suppose there is some in NCLT orders which have been relevant, like for example, for disclaimer, we would have had an NCLT, permission of NCLT order, or we did a private sale, we would have had an NCLT order. So, or maybe we did a physical auction, we would have had an NCLT order. All such NCLT orders and directions, in my opinion, all NCLT orders from the beginning in the liquidation process can be compiled and uploaded, so that in one go, all directions of NCLT are there with IBBA, which are filed in this process, which are being passed by the NCLT in our process, and any other relevant document. So this can include your note or any explanation you have to give. See, liquidation is a very dynamic process. So there might be certain exceptions which you had to do. There might be certain things which you would have deviated from the process in order to achieve this, because liquidation gives a lot of discretion on the liquidator. So whenever we do that, there's nothing wrong. Obviously, when we're in compliance with the regulations, but may not be in compliance with this form, we may still fill it and try to give an explanation as to what happened and what was the reason behind it. So therefore, this column is given in all the forms across to give any relevant information or documents to the IBBI. So this is it with respect to, sorry. This is with respect to Form 3. Then we'll finally look at Form 4. See, Form 4 again is see, if you see Form 4, I'm unable to fill because it says first I have to fill liquidation Form 3. Only when I fill Form 3, I will be in a position to go ahead with Form 4. So this is the concern. But nevertheless, Form 4 is majorly the event. It's again a one-time event. It is pertaining to the details between when you file an application for dissolution till there is an order for dissolution passed by the NCLT. Now, let me just quickly show the requirement of progress reports and also this dissolution application. So if you see a dissolution order, so progress reports. So till when do we keep filing the progress reports is that, so still the cessation. So when does the cessation essentially happen in the event of a progress report maintained by us? The cessation will happen till the time or dissolution order is being passed. So all progress report has to go on till the time even there is a final order. But I think as a matter of practice, once we file a dissolution application, few of the it is obviously a scene that there is no other progress we can do. So we stop filing the progress reports. But there may be a chance that certain costs keep increasing. Like maybe you're still fighting for some associated liquidation litigations. Like for example, avoidance transactions, you're still doing it. Or maybe there was some kind of cost which we are incurring for a particular thing. So there may be some kind of a aspect with respect to an activity. But progress report we can't file ideally because it's all done. As an liquidator, when I file a dissolution application, it means the entirety is done. There is no other activity which I am doing with respect to which I have to file a progress report. So therefore, ideally, we will submit the progress reports till the time we file the dissolution applications, and subsequently we will not be in a position to file the forms. So this is one aspect. And coming to the order of dissolution, so once the dissolution order is passed, the entire liquidation, the process comes to an end. So ideally, between this period, so this form is basically talking about the period between the application of which you filed for dissolution till the order you received for dissolution. And there it will also talk about the distribution of proceeds, receipts and payments again, and which are carried forward from the last progress report and hence need not be filled again. So again here, see, if you see this column, it says the details required in this forms are carried forward from the last progress report and hence need not be filled again. So therefore, it is basically a automated form. It's just that it may add two additional details, or anybody in the group, if you have already went ahead with filing of liquidation for, you can explain. In my view, it would be two additional things which they will ask for. One, the passing of order of dissolution, the copy of order which has to come, and within what dates have you filed the order. These are the two things which will ask, and obviously along with the copy of the order. That's all. So I feel these are the only two things which may additionally come in liquidation 4. Rest of it would be pure replication from the previous forms. So this is with respect to liquidation 4. I'm sure there would be much more queries or practical issues which all of us are facing on a very customized basis. Like for me, there may be different issue. For you, that might not be the issue. Maybe another issue might be there. So IBBI, I think Anjali will share it on the email as she said. So IBBI had is actively pursuing all these
Sir, I have given
responses.
email ID and contact number in chat box also.
Oh, great, great. So even in the chat box, the contact details are given, and they are actively corresponding to all the responses. And even ICSA is assisting us even at the time of AFA refuel to give an undertaking to finish these compliances before 30th of September, which we need to do before 30th of September. That's the mandate from IBBA to ICSA and also to all of our IPs. So come what may, if at all we are only, you're starting filling your forms now, and if you're facing, some difficulty at this stage, maybe, you haven't faced because you never looked at the form and suddenly you're facing some difficulty, or if you're planning to file it on the last day, if you feel there's any difficulty, try to give a note and complete your filing. Ultimately, you should ensure that all the relevant information is not missing. Major technical issues have been sorted. There may be still some issues, like as one of our ma'am explained, and which I also experienced. I was unable to select the date. Now that might be a mandatory column somewhere. So again, that's a pure technical issue, which IBBA may also take time to resolve. So therefore, it's better to see certain alternatives. So by virtue of uploading a note, and can the form be going? Is the form taken forward without filling the date? You can try that. If yes, good. Otherwise, then obviously your hands are tied. So take a screenshot, immediately send an email to IBBA and follow up with them. So you should show your effort in terms of filling the forms and getting acquainted with the compliances. So therefore, that's when it's okay. Even from the IBBA side, there can be certain relaxation. So our attempt to file and any difficulties faced, immediately write to IBBA so that either they'll respond and they'll try to rectify that, or if the IBBA has it feels that is a genuine issue, at least they'll try to relax if they relaxes from filing this by maybe extending certain deadlines. So the better we send some emails to this IBBA, that's when they'll know also what kind of difficulties we are facing. Otherwise, so everybody, definitely all of you, if you see there is a technical error, it is an error only. And it may not be the same error for others. Probably for me, when I feel I don't have that problem, maybe you are only having the problem. Such kind of issues are also there. So we've got to tackle that. And yeah.
Sir, one basic doubt, sir.
Yes, sir.
After filling and submitting LAQ2 for March 2024 only, that all the data will get auto-populated to June 2024.
Yes.
Then thereafter only we can fill there only the current quarter, and we can proceed for the next subsequent quarter. That is for this now September is coming now for that, correct?
Absolutely.
Correct. Thank you.
Correct. Sir. And the due dates also, we'll just quickly look back into the due dates. So the liquidation 1 form is being filed. It has to be filed again. For all of it, one blind date we have to keep is it is in the next month after the event. So there is one event based on which there is a due date. So that event as a subsequent month, 10th of the subsequent month of that event is a due date for all the 4 forms. Like for liquidation form, the event is public announcement. So for the public announcement, whenever the public announcement happened in the subsequent month, 10th of that month will become the due date. So for the second event, the event for liquidation 2 is filing of or submitting this progress report with the NCLT. So all of us across all NCLTs are filing it by way of an IA. So the date of filing of the IA for taking on record the progress report will be the event, the trigger point for liquidation 2. And the due date will be subsequent month 10th. So 10th of the subsequent month will become your due date. Similarly, liquidation 3 is when you have filed an application for dissolution. So date of submitting this dissolution application or closure application with the NCLT will be the event. 10th of the subsequent month will become your due date. And finally, order of dissolution. The moment order, so this is the only deviation for the due date. The moment order of dissolution is passed, within 14 days, we have to finish filing of liquidation 4. So going forward, these will become a timelines for liquidation forms. So ideally, they have given definitely good enough room for us to keep the information ready. But as Rangasamy sir was rightly suggesting, it is better to keep our form filing with NCLT also in a similar formats so that we need not struggle in grouping the amounts and other information separately for NCLT and separately for IBBA. We should try to somehow keep it uniform so that we can use a similar structure for IBBA as well as NCLT when it comes to disclosing with the NCLT. So that's with respect to this. And for further clarification, you can see the circular where it very clearly says that where there are ongoing cases, then it asks us to file liquidation 2 for the March quarter, latest by September 30. It also goes to say that even, I mean, it also indirectly means this June quarter also you should finish by September 30, because ideally June quarter deadline is August 10th. So if you don't file March, you can't file June. So it's both are interlinked. So therefore, I recently filed June quarter and there is no fine, etc. Even if it is filed after August 10th. So file both your March and June quarters before 30th of September so that the compliances firstly are on track. Then for cases, it's again ongoing cases where an application for resolution of the liquidation has been filed with AA, then you'll have to file this again by 30th September. So again, they're not giving any. So if you see this for liquidation 2, they mention for the last quarter of the process. So they are never mentioning it for March or for June because they know it can be even before. So that's why they said for the last quarter of the process. So this is where I think a few of our participants have also raised this query. I mean, our fellow IPs have raised the query that this has been 2 years back and the form is not allowing us to select that particular quarter. So if you get a review, I mean, you please write to IBBA immediately. That is the first thing you have to do. And if you're unable to get a response or if the result process is not solved, please select March quarter, fill all the details relevant to your quarter, whichever it is 2 years back. I give a detailed note because the IBBA form this liquidation 2 form did not contain an option to select the relevant quarter. I had to select March quarter, but all the information pertains to the quarter ended so and so of so and so year. You give a note and file, but do not avoid filing. That's my suggestion. Similarly, where an order for the liquidation process has already been given, even there, all the forms, liquidation 1, liquidation 2, liquidation 3, and liquidation 4, all 4 shall be filed. So it's very clear. IBBI in the note, though the form may not be in a position to facilitate, but the requirement is clear. So requirement is you need to file liquidation 1, 2, 3, and 4 when the order has already been passed. It may be passed in 2018, maybe 2016, 17, 20. We need to still compile all the information and file it in this. That's why they've given 3 months time for us to fill. So at this juncture, probably it's a 1 week time may be too much for us to retrieve this information. But IBBA doesn't look at it that way. IBBA will look at it from the June quarter, right? So from June 28th, this circular is in force. So at the end of 3 months, we can't take this as an excuse. So therefore, better to keep a team and start pulling this information and start filing it. I'm sure you will all have this information. It just takes a lot of effort to compile that information, but please do it and close it. Do not wait for any extensions. I feel which are unlikely. If it comes, good enough, but let's not assume or expect an extension of compliance to come. So that's my perspective on this. So any other questions, queries, views, something to discuss, please feel free to, because this is a subject not of a law. This is a pure procedural aspect. And so we all have to be together in this when we are doing our compliances so that IBBA will also try to address us as a group. So any difficulties you're facing, ICSA Institute is always available for us to resolve our concerns. Or if there is any other additional left practical you want to ask, I'm here, you can definitely let me. There are some questions I feel right. Voluntary liquidation, the old NCLT does not have a provision of filing number and date. What? Okay. I didn't observe the questions actually. Just a second. So Ravichandran sir, I think now you have the number and the email ID given, so you can take it from the chat box. This, I think, Valashim ma'am, we have spoken. Then email ID has been shared. Yeah. There's one question from Tripti Bangera, who asks that do we have to file more than one liquidation 2 form for each quarter regarding progress reports? So for each quarter, there is only one liquidation 2, but for every quarter, you will have to keep filing. So for March quarter, there's only one liquidation 2. For June, there's only one. But for March, June, September, if for every quarter there is a progress report, you have to keep filing liquidation 2s again and again for each quarter. But for each quarter, there's only one. Then do we have to file more than one liquidation 2 forms for each quarter? Okay. Again, I think similar question has been directed to me by Mr. Girish, wherein it says, do we have to file more than one liquidation 2 form for each quarter? Yes. So we'll have to file more than one liquidation form for each quarter. For a particular quarter, there is only one liquidation form, but it has to be repeated for every quarter. Then, yeah. I was a burden with yeah, I think Santan Lakshmam's concern is definitely true. Going back for 4 years, 5, 6 years, and pulling that information of a case which is already closed is a huge pain for IPs, and there is no incentive as such. But ma'am, having said that, we have no other option as of now. So yeah. But I think your suggestion is valid. If suppose we can give it in Excel, but again, that's an effort, ma'am. Giving it in Excel, they'll still ask you to only fill the information in Excel. So I feel somewhere our effort is there. It's just that, after so long, again, going back on the case would be definitely very tiring, and we would have already forgotten all the facts also. So that would definitely be a huge task. I totally understand. ICS similarity numbers is given. Hemanshu Kapadia has a query asking, in case of voluntary liquidation forms, forms ask for filing number of case with NCLT as mandatory field. However, okay, filing number of case. Okay. Earlier, prior to 2022, the old NCLT site does not have a provision of filing number and date. What number to mention then? Oh, is it? So this is something I think, again, I'd suggest you to please write to IBBA only. In my opinion, I didn't face this issue as such, but in my opinion, where if in NCLT website at that stage there was no e-filing number or the date of filing which you have, in my opinion, there should be some date. You would have filed a physical filing with NCLT, then NCLT would have given you an acknowledgement, and there would have been a date on which it would have been acknowledged. So you can use that date and that number. If that number is not working, you can maybe mention all zeros or something and give a detailed note that because of this reason I could not fill the number. I think that might be a solution. And if an application for dissolution has been filed, but an order has not been passed for liquidation, is there any requirement? No, sir. So Pankaj Ketan sir has this question that if an application for dissolution has been filed, but order has not been passed yet, then liquidation 4 will not be applicable, sir. As I was just showing in the circular, in such situation, only liquidation 1, liquidation 2 till the last quarter, and liquidation 3. These are the only 3 which will apply. And again, Himanshu Kapadia sir has another query that uploading of order on NCLT website takes weeks, and thereafter certified true copy takes another couple of weeks. So how to file within 14 days of passing of order? I totally agree, sir. That's the most we can do. But I feel if at all that is linked with fine, suppose they say that if you don't file within 14 days, there is a fine, then the relevant date you can select as the date of uploading of the order, and you can give a reasoning that I have selected the relevant date as a different date than the date of order because that is the date on which the order has been uploaded and IBB accepts it. So this is a practical issue and they know that there is a concern on it. So they don't dispute on such kind of facts. But the idea is that the moment it is available within 14 days, we have to immediately file it with the with the IBBA. That's the whole idea. So if at all this kind of situation comes and if it is linked with some kind of paying of penalties or something, because of late filing with IBBA, then you can select the date of upload as the relevant date. Then 14 days will be computed from the date of upload. But you need to give an explanation that the relevant date is selected as a date other than the date of order because the order was uploaded on a different date. Like that, you can give an explanation and file your form. So these are the only questions I could see in the chat box. Thank you, sir. Thanks for listening. And if there are no further questions, Anjali, we can conclude the session because we all definitely had a very interactive discussion right through the session. So I think if there are any further questions, I'm more than happy to be here and address it to the extent I can. Otherwise, I think all the questions are addressed. Sorry?
Tomorrow we have the same.
The comment. Tomorrow, I think it is for voluntary, sir. Voluntary liquidation forms. Today is for liquidation forms. Tomorrow, I think it's for voluntary liquidation forms. Yeah. Anjali, maybe we can conclude this session, Anjali.
Sir, if there are no questions, then we can conclude.
Yeah.
Participants, are there any queries? I think there are no queries, sir. We can conclude.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
For such
Thank you so much, Anjali, for the opportunity.
Session.
Yeah.
Can you give your number and email ID also?
Sure.
If
Please go ahead and do
want,
that.
they can have.
Yeah, please. Go ahead. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks a lot. Thanks for the interaction. Actually, for the first time, I had a very interactive session.
Thank you,
so
Prakul
much.
Sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
Thank you.
Very simple and very lucid explanations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Bye, sir.
Anjali ma'am, can we log out? Can we leave the meeting?
I think we can close the meeting now.